Hello everyone, welcome back to the Biz Time YouTube channel. The Colombo Stock Exchange extended its bullish run this week with ASPI climbing approximately 392 points, 2% week on week growth to shatter the historic 20,000 mark. The S&P SL20 gained 79 points, 1.4% week on week growth, while market turnover topped 31.8 billion rupees, signaling the robust investor activity. Boosting sentiment further, the CSE, together with Securities and Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka and stockbroking industry, successfully held the Invest Sri Lanka Investor Forum, Singapore on 12th August, spotlighting the nation's capital market prospect to global investors. Investor sentiment remained upbeat, fueled by strong corporate earnings across key sectors and Sri Lanka's steady economic growth momentum. Confidence is further reinforced by improving macro fundamentals, stable interest rates, and ongoing reforms aimed at boosting market efficiency. With ample liquidity and solid pipeline of IPOs and corporate debt issues, the Colombo Stock Exchange looks well positioning to sustain its upward momentum in the weeks ahead. Let's look at the economic outlook. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has set an ambitious medium to long-term GDP growth target of 4 to 5%, exceeding the IMF's baseline forecast of 3%. A faster pace of recovery could bring forward debt sustainability, potentially achieving this milestone ahead of IMF's projected timeline of 2032. Key to this acceleration will be structural reforms aimed at stabilizing the economy and unlocking the growth potential. Furthermore, US tariff reductions and duty-free status for selected Sri Lankan exports are expected to be pivotal in fast-tracking recovery and enhancing global trade competitiveness. Worker remittances continue to provide strong inflow of foreign exchange. 697 million US dollars in July 2025, the highest monthly inflow to date, representing 23% year-on-year growth. Year-to-date remittances stand at 4.4 billion US dollars, reflecting 19% year-on-year growth and making the highest level recorded since 2020. These strong remittances inflows are vital stabilizer of Sri Lanka's external sector resilience, strengthening the balance of payments and supporting foreign exchange reserves. Let's move ahead with export sector performance. Sri Lanka's total export for the first half of 2025 reached 8.35 billion US dollars, demonstrating resilience and diversification. Merchandise exports contributed 6.5 billion US dollars, while service export contributed 1.86 billion US dollars. Key growth segments: coconut-based product up 32.4% year-on-year, apparel product up 8.19% year-on-year. Major markets India, Netherlands, Hong Kong, and Singapore remain top destination, reinforcing Sri Lanka's strategic position in regional and global trade. Strategic initiative for future growth. To further enhance GDP and sustain external sector stability, the government has outlined several strategic growth initiatives. Expansion of free port services targeting 60 operators with an annual revenue potential of 40 million US dollars. Development of Trincomalee Harbour as marine business hub, positioning Sri Lanka as a regional logistic and maritime center. Waiving of $200 off-port limit levy at Galle and Hambantota Fort to encourage maritime trade. Fast-tracking free trade agreement with China, USA, EU, and Middle East, opening new trade corridors and export opportunities. Moving on with tourism sector performance. Tourism continued to be a vital pillar of Sri Lanka's economic recovery. Year-to-date earnings reached 2 billion US dollars, 8% year-on-year growth, though still trailing 2018 peak levels. Tourist arrival reached 1.4 million visitors, reflecting growing global confidence in Sri Lanka as a destination. To achieve the government 5 billion US dollars annual target, an additional 2.96 billion US dollars in tourism receipts is required over the remainder of the year. While the sector shows encouraging signs of growth, sustained improvements and infrastructure, marketing, and visitor experience will be essential to bridge the gap with price crisis benchmark. That's the wrap up of on Sri Lanka's economic outlook. Next up, we shift our focus to corporate sector, beginning with an in-depth look at one of the most promising player in the food and beverage sector listed on the Colombo Stock Exchange. This company has shown strong resilience, consistent demand, and growth potential, making it key stock to watch in months ahead. Lanka Milk Foods PLC is a local brand with a proud history of 40 years. For the years, the brand has been consistently growing to compete against global and regional giants. First established for packaging and distribution of imported milk powder, the brand has since then progressed become one of the most innovative beverage and dairy product providers in the country. It is also home to the largest packing plant in South Asia. Today, Lanka Milk Food PLC is more than a mere service provider but a trusted name across the nation that it transforms the lives of all its stakeholders by providing opportunities for economic growth and sustainability. Let's look at the financial performance of the company. Over the past 5 years, revenue has shown steady growth. In 2025, revenue increased by 13%, although higher cost of goods sold weighed heavily on profit margins, leading to a dip in bottom line. Earnings per share followed a similar trend. However, quarter one of financial year 2025-26 delivered strong financial results, signaling improved momentum. For, for Q1 of this year, EPS stood at 94 cents, taking conservative view and assuming similar performance across remaining three quarters. Full year EPS is forecast at 3 rupees 76 cents. Applying current PE ratio of 17 times suggests a potential year-end price target of 65 to 66 rupees. Notably, LMF trade at comparatively low earning multiples within food and beverage sector, while its price to book value of 0.7x highlights further room for potential upside. Let's look at the technical outlook. The share is currently trading at 56 rupees 20 cents, close to a key support level of 55 rupees 80 cents. The RSI hovers around 47, indicating neutral momentum with the potential for upside, the buying interest and trading volume strength. We love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below. Remember, always invest carefully and do your research. That's it from Biz Time today. If you found value in this analysis, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more market updates and insights. Thank you for watching. See you in next one.